in and give yourself permission to get a sense of your body sense. Palms are to the ceiling, legs are lengthened. Good, and just take a breath in. And so I'm just going to make sure everyone's muted here. Good. And exhale. And again, nice big breath in. Because our greatest gift is breath. And so please, if you haven't been breathing, and you've been feeling stressed or tight, just going into your breath. So let's just do what we call our body scan. And it's just creating awareness of where stuck stress is in our body. And so noticing first in your shoulder girdle, noticing your shoulder blades and where your shoulder blades are in contact or not in contact with the ground. Ideally, your shoulder blades feel flat and wide and evenly weighted to the floor. If you have stuck stress in your shoulder girdle, you'll notice that your shoulder blades are resting more on the back or the top of the shoulder blades. You might feel different from one side to the other. You might also notice as your arms leave your body that their palms are turned inward as opposed to turned up towards the ceiling. Those are all signs of stuck stress in the shoulder girdle. And then just turn your head to the right and left and notice if there's any restriction in the end range and any difference from one side to the other. And then the second place stuck stress likes to live is in the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is going to affect your rib cage and your mid back and your low back. So noticing here, if you have a whole back curve as opposed to a low back curve, ideally the curve of your back is between your pelvis and your belly button. But if you have stuck stress in your diaphragm, you might notice that the curve runs all the way to the top of your shoulder blade. And then when you take a breath in, it just might feel restricted, like it's tight in there. So we're going to really work on our ribcage mobility today. The third place is in your pelvis. And so noticing where you're weighted. If you have stuck stress in your pelvis, you might notice that you're more tipped down towards your tailbone or just sitting right on your sacrum as opposed to equal weight on two equal butt cheeks. And that affects your legs. So when we have stuck stress in our pelvis, it's going to affect the curve of your spine, but also your limbs. So your back and your thighs are masses, and ideally your masses are weighted to the floor. Your spaces are your joints, and joints is where movement happens. So ideally your joints are a little bit lifted off the floor. And then your calves are weighted a little bit turned out, but on the thickness part of your calf. And then your toes would be pointed to where the wall and the ceiling meet. If there's stuck stress in your pelvis, you might notice that your toes are pointed straight up to the ceiling, or your feet are dropped so far off to the side that your ankles are weighted to the mat, or one is different than the other. And then finally, bring your focus back up to your torso, and you just want to notice how your autopilot, how efficiently it's functioning today. And so you can divide your body into a left and right, and just notice if you feel like you're equally weighted onto both sides of your body. Or if your autopilot is functioning a little off kilter, you might feel like you're a little more weighted to one side over than the other, or that one arm or leg feels longer than the other. You just bend your knees, take a focused breath in, and as you roll onto your side, you can let your breath out and then push yourself up to a seated position. So we're going to start with our upper body compression today. We're going to bring the roller behind you, and you're just going to place the roller to the bottom of your shoulder blades. Want to get some hydration moving through the upper body. So you just punch your arms up, and you just want to feel if the shoulder blades are, bottom of the shoulder blades are touching the mat. And then we want to get stable through the core. So you're going to lift your pelvis, tuck, engaging your abdominals, and press down. Take your hands behind your head, let the weight of your head fall into your hands. And then just lengthening through your ribs. I just want to notice how much length is available through the rib cage. I'm not trying to arch back over the ball, but I just want to see what happens when I open through the front of my rib cage. And then you can do a little side bend to the right and just breathe into your left rib cage and just notice if there's any restriction. And then exhale, come back to center. And then side bend over to the left. Again, breathe into the right ribs and just notice how that feels. And then come back to center. So we're going to plant your feet, lift your hips, and then just take your roller to the top of your shoulder blades. Reach your elbows so they're pointed toward the wall and the ceiling meet, just to draw your shoulder blades apart. And we're going to start gliding up and down just the upper 2 inches of the shoulder blade. So your pelvis is hovered off the mat. You want to focus on pressing into the front of the roller, so you're more pressing against and kind of curling forward here. And then place your pelvis down and we go into your shear, where you're just doing this twisting action, where you can feel how one vertebra is pinned to the roller and you're just doing this small movement, moving the vertebra just above that. And then you wait, take a focused breath in, and then exhale. And then you're going to move the roller to the middle of your shoulder blades. Again, check that your head is heavy in your hands, lift your pelvis, and just start to glide up and down in the middle part of the shoulder blade. So here we're focusing on hydrating the tissue that sits in between your spine and your shoulder blade. You're going to place your pelvis down and go into your twisting action. So you can even think about sort of twisting and trying to open up a screw top, where you're just pinning that one vertebra and moving the one above it. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. And then move to the lower part of the shoulder blade. And now as we're in this position, you can really see a little bit more how you can push into the front of the roller and curl forward, so pushing against it. Remember, when we're gliding, we want to be pressing, sort of moving against that, bumping up against any stuck stress. Bring the pelvis down and go into your twist. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. And then what happens with that one, if we're doing it well, we start to slowly move back. So just kind of move back down your mat if you're come away from that. And now we want to work on the inner shoulder blade. So we're going to tilt your right elbow towards the ceiling. I'm doing that just so I turn towards you. So you drop onto the inner shoulder blade of the left side, lift your pelvis, and now we're going to glide up and down the entire length of the inner shoulder blade. Some of you who are in this class today, you're talking about being sore in your shoulders. So we want to make sure we're really hydrating that tissue under the shoulder blade. Find a spot that feels a little tender, bump up against it. Remember, we want to push it out. We don't want to barrel over top of it. We want to nudge it away, press against it. And then bring your pelvis down, and you can fan this elbow open and close, or you can move this arm in front of you anywhere that you like. And then you wait. Get the tissue time to a back dap, take a breath, and exhale. Now we're going to roll right onto this side. So we're going to turn onto our side. And here we want to actually be curved forward a little bit. So you're on your forearm, your upper arm, just below your deltoid, and on your part of your rib cage. Then your head is supported by your hand, and this hand comes onto your forearm. And then as we go here, we want to curl forward and back. We want to curl. So it's like doing a little ab curl, where you're gliding here partly on your ribs, partly on your upper arm, and partly on your forearm. You can also pump your legs to cause this action. And then we're just going to push up. So finish with your shoulders more on the head side of your roller. And then we're going to tilt back. So now you're on the outer edge of your shoulder blade. Your head is still supported by your hand, and this top hand can come under your ribs. And now it's more of a side bending action. So watch this. I'm lifting my ribs and lowering. So I'm gliding up and down on the outer edge of your shoulder blade, up and down. Good, so different than a curl. So lift in the lower of your ribs. And then you finish when your shoulders are on the head side of your roller, so you can fan this elbow for your shear. Excellent. And then you wait, you take a focused breath in, and then exhale. Good. And then we're going to go over to the other side. Now I'm going to flip just so that I continue to face you. You don't have to do that. So now what we're going to do is we're on our back. You want to reach your left elbow to the ceiling. So you just tip a little over onto the right inner shoulder blade. And you're going to start gliding up and down with your pelvis off the mat on the inner shoulder blade, all the way up and down. And then when you find a little spot that's tender, you want to bump up against it. You want to push against it. That's how you move it out. And then we pause, bring the hips down and fan your elbow, or you can move your arm anywhere around in front of your body. It's up to you. Then you wait, take a breath in and exhale. Then hand comes to your head, roll all the way onto your side. You want to be tipped forward a little bit so you can feel your rib cage, you can feel your upper arm just below your deltoid and your forearm. Take this hand, place it on your forearm to give a little bit more load, and then you're curling forward and back. So here we're covering a lot of territory between the upper arm, your forearm. So really good if you've got elbow or wrist things going on, but we're also getting your rib cage. And then we're going to pause there when the shoulders are on the head side of the roller. And you're going to tip back. So this is what puts you onto your shoulder blade. And then with this hand under the ribs, it doesn't have to go there, but it's a way to guide your ribs as you use your fingertips to lift your ribs up and lower them down. So now it's more of a side bend on the shoulder blade. Good. And then we stop when we're on the head side of the roller, and you can fan your elbow open and closed. Very nice. And then we're going to pause, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Good. And then we're going to come up here, and we're going to go into, yes, ladies, we're going to do our pecs. So what's important here is that you're above the breast tissue and below your collarbone. So it's not a very big area that we're working on. So what's most important here is your hands are going to be on your body side of the roller. So you're going to take the hands out. Because I'm facing you, I'm going to be on my right side of my pecs, of my chest. And I'm going to gently, with the help of my hand, place my chest just above the breast tissue on the roller. So my knees are tucked up, my hands are here supporting. And you want to press up against. So the work is really, as I glide, pushing up against the front of the roller. Just, again, you're not going on the tissue or above the collarbone. Stay in between. You want to push up against, notice it's like I'm kind of lifting up. And then for the shear, you hold and you go back and forth. You do the cross friction. Good. Tell your face this is easy and breathe. And then you wait. Take a breath in and exhale. Good. And then just push yourself up. Good. How is that? We haven't done that one in a while, so it might feel a bit nasty. I'm just thinking we're forward a lot with gardening and computers and cooking. Nice to open that up. So then you're just going to take your knees over to the other side. So now we're going to be on the opposite side. So use your hands to assist you. You're going to come down and place your chest just above the breast tissue on the roller. And then you're just going to roll up and down to the collarbone. Use the hands to assist. Good. So they can take a little bit of the load if it's really tender. Pushing into the front of the roller. Think of sort of lifting up a little bit. The roller starts to creep away from you. And then you pause, and for the shear, you go into your cross friction. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. And then you push yourself all the way up. So last week we introduced a little abdominal exercise where we brought the roller to the middle of your mat, and then you folded your mat in half like so. And then if you want a little more support for your pelvis, you can take the bottom of the mat and fold it like this. And then you're going to sit on the end of the mat. You're going to create some tension. See, I've got some tension here. And you're going to come back, and you want to put just the bottom of your shoulder blades on the roller. From here, if you grab the mat with both hands, lift your hip and pull it tight. It creates a little bit of a hammock for support. Take your hands behind your head, open your throat. Come up, I just need to come up a little higher. You just want to be in the bottom part of your shoulder blade. So you don't have a lot of tension in the neck, but you have a really great opportunity to scoop here. So we're going to take your hands behind your thighs. I've changed my mind how I want to start. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath, and as you exhale, you want to press your thighs into your hands, or your hands into your thighs, and scoop through your abdominals. Really pull in deep. So you're a little bit tucked. Then you're going to bring your feet up off the ground. And now we're going to apply more resistance of pressing your thighs into your hands and your hands into your thighs with the focus of deepening your scoot. So you're really pulling your belly to spine. So prepare that with as many breaths as you need. And then when you're ready to up it, you're going to exhale, draw your belly to spine, release your hands, and were you able to keep the tuck? Or did your belly pop out? To add more challenge, lift your feet and try it again. Press your thighs into your hands into your thighs to draw your abdominals in. Take a breath in. As you exhale, deepen that scoot, release the hands, and were you able to keep your abdominals drawn in? Good. Now, your option is to keep your hands behind your legs. Otherwise, your hands can come here. And we're going to extend one leg, pulling in deep, and bring it back. Extend the other leg. If you find that that's just too much low, your hands are here, you can just slowly tap one toe down and bring it up and tap the other toe. So this would be your modification. Exhale and bring it in. Keeping the scoop is your focus. That's it. Exhale, pulling in and bring it back. Pull it in, bring it back. We'll do two more. Exhale, draw your abdominals in, bring it back. Draw your abdominals in, bring it back. Place one foot down, place the other foot down, and bring yourself up. Good. So there's progressions on that, but we'll just start there. And then we're just going to open this up, and we're going to rinse our back, and then we're going to do our rib length reassess. So now we want to rinse. We want to make sure we're moving fluids down the back. So now we come here, keep your hands behind your head, slide down so the roller's at the top of your shoulder blades. We want to be in your tuck, so you're going to scoot. Bring your heels close to your seat, hover your pelvis, and you want to steamroll your back, push against the front of the roller until your butt comes down and your legs extend. Reset, slide yourself down, and do it again. Lift your pelvis, press your back against the front of the roller until your legs lengthen and your bum drops down. Bend your knees, reset, come down fast, and roll up slow. Good. Reset, and we'll go one more time. Lift your hips, push against the roller, and stay. Good. All right. So bring yourself back. Let's just do a little rib length reassess. So find the roller at the bottom of the shoulder blades. Hands come back behind your head. Relax your head into your hands. Lift your pelvis, tuck. Place your pelvis down, keeping your abdominals engaged. As you inhale, lengthen through your ribs and just notice if there's any more space available through the front of your body. Side bend to your right, breathe into that left side. See how that feels. If we've opened up any space to breathe easier, come back to center. Side bend to your left, breathe into your right rib cage and just again notice how that feels. And come back to center and bring yourself up. Good. All right. So let's now go into a lower body compression. We'll do a little bit there. I just want to work in the hips because people are saying their low back and hips are tight. So let's sit up on top of the roller. Bring your fingertips here and just start rocking back and forth on your sits bones. So you're just using your legs to navigate, keeping your spine nice and long. And all there is to notice here is, does it feel even as you go over your sits bones? Does it feel like you're going thump thump, which is a sign your pelvis might be a little rotated forward? Or if it feels like one is protruding down lower, it could be a sign your pelvis is more laterally shifted. Bring your sits bones to the feet side of your roller, scoop through your tummy so your pelvis is heavy on the roller. Lightly bring your hands back, tuck, and go into your tail triangle glide. So here we're gliding on the sacrum. We're stopping before we get to the tailbone and before we come off the pelvis. Tip your knees over to one side, just swirl around that side of your sacrum. Notice how it feels. Our glide is exploratory and preparatory. And then take it over to the other side. And again, just swirling around there. Good. Let's stay on this side. So I'm on my right hip. It doesn't matter what you're on, but when I refer to my right, if you're on your left, you'll be thinking left. Bring your left hand on top of your left knee and just start to swirl around on the right side. We're going to head into your deep hip. So you can let that right knee fan down, and that just gets you a little deeper into the hip. And you're swirling around. So if I were to take my hand, fan it out, and place it on my butt, you want to be working through that whole area. But when you find a spot that feels maybe a little tender, just bump up against it. And then we wait, and we're going to fan that bottom hip up and down. And then we wait. We take a focused breath in and exhale. So then we want to go into our side hips. You're going to straighten your right leg out. Now I'm turning my back to you for the first set, which isn't very polite. Sorry, I didn't plan that well. Roll right onto your side, down on the forearm, and start to glide up and down in the side hip. So we're still on the pelvis. We're in the area more where your glute med and your glute minimus and your piriformis are. If you find a spot, bump up against it, tighten it up, and then straighten the right leg and just roll forward and back. This is one shearing option, or the second is your cross friction, where you just rub the hip forward and back. And then you wait, take a breath in, and exhale. I find it easier just to slide forward off the roller and get set up on the other side. Lift yourself back on top. Good. And then bring this hand down. With your right hand on top of your right knee, we head into our deep hip. So we're just swirling around, circling around. To get a little deeper, you can let this hip fall out. Let the knee come down. Good. Hopefully this is doing, you guys are doing okay there. Feels all right. Noticing things. Every day is a different day. And then you're going to hold it and just fan this hip up and down. And then you wait. Take a breath in and exhale. Extend this leg up. Come over to your side, down onto your forearm, and you're just going to go roll up and down on your side hip. Again, check it out. Check it out. How do I feel? Awareness is what brings choice, which is what brings transformation. And that's why when we're doing our work here at the studio, we're always wanting you to check in through your breath, do your body scan. Because if we're not aware of something, we certainly can't do anything through our brain and our nervous system to affect change for the better. Extend this leg, we can rock forward and back, or you can do cross friction, whichever feels best for you. Sometimes I do both because I like both. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. Good, and then slide off. So we're going to do an inner thigh glide and shear, and then we're going to do inner thigh stability. So you're going to take your roller in front, lie down on your side. You're going to reach the arm forward and then tilt the bottom of the roller towards you. You're going to take your top leg on the roller, so your knee is on top, and then as you straighten your leg, the roller will come just above your knee. With this hand planted on the floor, and use this arm to guide so that you're gliding just the 2 inches above the knee, and you're using your shoulder, your ribs, and your hips, moving all in equal timing. If you don't feel much in the inner thigh, you can turn the toe down so you're getting a little bit more front of thigh, so you can explore. And then you pause, flex your foot. You can either bend and straighten your knee, or you can lower and lift your heel. I like this one because you're also getting that internal and external motion in your hip joint. And then you wait, take a breath and exhale. Bring the roller to mid-inner thigh and then same thing. Again, your whole spine is moving together so that your spine is protected. Your foot is down on the floor, your leg is relaxed and heavy. We wait, you flex your foot, you can either bend and straighten the knee, you can lift and lower the heel. You can also do cross friction. There's no right or wrong, just go with how it feels. And then you wait, breathe, and exhale. Now we want to get way up in the groin. So we want to move the roller and get right up deep in the inner thigh. Couple ways, you can either roll forward and back like so, or you can come up onto your form. Make sure you get your pelvis up and you're balancing on your other leg, your other knee and shin and toe. And you're able just to get a little deeper into the inner thigh. Back is strong, shoulders stable. Then to shear, you lie back down and you can do your cross friction, or you can lower and lift the heel. And then you wait, take a breath in and exhale. Good. Then we're going to come to the other side. So if you notice, we don't stay anywhere very long. We're not waiting for the tissue to feel better. We want to get in and get out. The healing happens after when we drink water. So take the roller, it's more in line with your torso, straighten your arms so it's straight out in front of you, and then tilt the bottom of the roller towards you. Bring the top leg on top, so your knee is there. When you straighten the leg and place your toe down, the roller should land just above your knee. Take this hand, place it on the floor, and move your whole body together. You just want to be in the upper 2 inches above your knee. You can be on your inner thigh. You can turn the knee down and toe down so you're a little more in the front of thigh. You can go looking. And then we pause. You can flex your foot, either bend and straighten your knee, lower and lift your heel. So everything is equivalent to about 3 breaths. We want to get in and get out. Melt should never hurt. If you're in a place that feels particularly tender, you don't want to barrel through it. You want to bump up against it. Let's take a breath in and exhale. Move the roller to mid-inner thigh. Again, let the leg be heavy. Navigate moving through your shoulder, ribs, and pelvis, all in equal timing. If you don't feel much in the inner thigh, you can turn the thigh down a little bit, so you're getting a little bit more into the front of thigh, your quadriceps. And then you can wait. You can either flex and extend, lower and lift, or hold cross friction. As you do this more, and I give you your options, you'll learn what feels best for you, and you can just go to what you like, and then you wait. And exhale. Good. Then you're going to bring the roller all the way up into the groin. You can either stay there and just work the angles from there, or you can come up onto your forearm. And I'm navigating with my upper body, so I'm actually using my arms and shoulder to glide myself. So my whole body is moving again together, nice and heavy through my leg. So I can pin the skin and work deeper in the tissue underneath the level of the skin. And then you lie down, you can hold on to your cross friction, or you can do your internal and external rotation. Very nice. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. So now that we brought hydration into the inner thigh, we want to bring stability into the inner thigh and inner hip. So we're going to take this roller, we're going to stay here, take it out front, and you're going to bring this leg and rest it on top. From here, we want to tip slightly forward so that we're not resting on the hip bone, you're rested more on the side of your thigh. Then you're going to flex your bottom foot. You're going to push your heel away. We want to stack your pelvis. So here, you don't want your waist dropped down to the ground. You want to stack your pelvis so your waist is lifted, but you're still on your rib cage, such that when you lift your leg and lower, that you're not working through your side muscles or QL. You're actually able to keep the hips stacked, reach out from that heel and lift specifically from your inner thigh. Good. So let's check that. So we're going to lift the leg. Now here, check. Are you stacked and are you rolled slightly forward? Lift the leg 1 more inch and lower down. And again, you're going to lift the leg. Make sure your hips are stacked. You're rolled slightly forward. Lift the leg 1 more inch and lower down. Lift. Check. Are you stacked? Feel the waist off the mat. Lift 1 more inch and lower. We'll do 1 more like this. Lift your leg. Check your stack. Check your roll. and then up, and then hold it there and just little lifts, little lift, and up, 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 up. Now hold it there. And I want you to think about bringing the hip back now. So you're pulling the roller a little more towards you, which rocks you back. Push out your heel, flex your foot a little more. And then lift your leg and lower. And lift and lower. So now we're back a little bit. You've brought the roller back towards you. Lift and lower. Lift. And we'll just do 3 more. 1 and 2 and 3. And lower it back down. Whew, good job. All right. So let's do the other side. I'll spin. You don't have to. Legs are long. Take the roller out in front. Lift this leg up. Come slightly forward. Flex the bottom foot. And you're going to lift your leg. Check. Pelvis stacked. Lift it a little higher. And come back down. Flex your foot. Lift your leg. Check that you're stacked. Lift your leg a little higher. And then come back down. We go up. Check. And lift. And down. Good. A little higher. And down. You really get that sense of lifting and lengthening from your inner thigh. Check your breath. Everything comes back to our breath. And then we're going to take it up and hold it. Push out your heel. Little lift. That's it. And then hold it up. And now I want you to think about pulling the roller towards you. So now you're coming back on your hip. And now lift and lower. And lift and lower. And lift. So many muscles that bind your hip, changing our angles will shift where we're working. You might have felt that. Lift and lower. 2 more. Up and up. And bring it all the way down. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to flip onto your back. If you like, we're going to put the roller under your pelvis. So if you have the half roller, then you can, and Sharon, you can grab your half roller. So how we get set up is we take this roller just through the back of the thighs. You're going to lift your pelvis and bring the roller under your sacrum. Now, what's most important here is if you reach underneath, you want to feel that the top of your pelvis is on your belly button side of the roller. So the roller is actually on your pelvis and not your low back. When you bring your knees up here, you don't want to feel like the roller is going to shoot out. Instead, if you find your greater trochanter and you just point your fingers down, literally the greater trochanter is lined up with being on top of the roller. We're going to start with your feet down and place your hands on your pelvis. And we're going to go into our tuck and tilt because we actually haven't moved our pelvis independent of our ribs yet. So take a breath in. Your ribs stay soft and heavy. As you exhale, stay light in your feet, relaxed in your glutes. You're just going to tuck pubic bone to belly button. Take a breath in. You're still heavy in your pelvis, light in your feet. You're then going to tilt, and your tilt is simply an untuck. If you're watching me, you'll see it's quite a discrete movement as you tuck, and then you tilt. Let the weight of your pelvis be heavy on the roller, and you tuck, and you tilt, because we want to keep your ribs still, so you can put your hands on your ribs and feel when you tuck and when you tilt that your ribs are staying still, your glutes are relaxed, and you're light in your feet. Now come into your tuck. Bring your right leg up, then your left leg up. Bring your knees together, drop your heels to your seat so your thighs stay relaxed. Place your hands beside your hips. You can lift your hip and slide your hand under. Lift your other hip and slide your hand under. Bring your thighs a little closer towards you as opposed to away from you, and we'll go into your SI joint shear. So we want to keep, again, your core engaged so your ribs stay nice and still, and we're just rocking onto your SI joint. And so the hands act as nice little bumpers so that you don't go too far. And then you're going to pause and stop your legs to one side, and you're just going to circle both legs together. Now make sure you don't let the legs fall away from you where it's hard to keep that control through your core. Instead, just keep the weight of your pelvis on top of the roller and your thighs angled a little more towards you. You can keep your top leg still and just circle through the bottom hip nice and slow. If you feel any snapping, cricking, popping, crunching, slow it down and make the movement a little smaller. You can also march. So you can just do one of those three options, or you can do all three. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale, come back to center. And then we head over to the other side and we circle both legs, keeping your ribs heavy, weight of your pelvis on top of the roller. And then you're going to circle the bottom hip. See how that feels, nice to work deep in your hip. And you can also march. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale, come back to center. Good. So bent knee press. We're going to place your left foot down on the ground. I'm choosing my left because it's closer to you, easier to see. You don't have to do that. Make sure you feel your full footprint. Your big toe pad is right down. It stops your knee from drifting off to the side. Then you're going to take your hands, interlock your fingers around your shin. You're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to tuck, draw your pubic bone to belly button, and simultaneously reach your knees in opposite direction. Our focus is to find length in this left hip and thigh. As you reach your left knee over your toes, press your big toe down into the ground. Inhale, ease up on that position. As you exhale, press into your big toe pad and draw your knees in opposite directions as you tuck, lengthening through that left hip and thigh. So beautiful. If you've been sitting a lot or bent over, this is beautiful. And then as you ease up, bring your left leg up, place your right foot down, plant your big toe pad, your baby toe ball in your heel. You still want to be light in your foot, heavy in your pelvis. You're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, press into your big toe pad, then tuck as you reach your knees in opposite direction, feeling length in the front hip and thigh of your right leg. As you take a breath in, ease up, press into your big toe pad, tuck, and find length. Right knee over your toe, left knee towards your nose. And then pause. Bring your right leg up. Place your hands onto your thighs. Slide your hands up your thighs till your elbows straighten. Like you're saying, stop in the name of love. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. We're going to press your thighs into your hands. We're going to go into our tuck and tilt challenge. Your thighs are pressed into your hands. Your shoulders are down. Your elbows are straight. Keep that pressure of your thighs into your hands consistent. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you tuck your pelvis, keeping that pressure of your thighs into your hands. On your next exhale, you simply tilt, letting the weight of your pelvis land on top of the roller, but keep your ribs heavy. Exhale, tuck. So what we're looking to feel here is the movement of your pelvis independent of your ribs. By pressing and keeping it consistent, your thighs into your hands, you're getting some deep core activation and some release through your low back. Don't make this movement too big where your ribs have to move. Keep it deep, keep it discreet. Exhale, tuck, and tilt. Now stay in your tilt. We're doing our low back decompress. So the weight of your pelvis is heavy on the roller. Shoulders are relaxed. Ease up on the pressure. Take a breath in. Stay in your tilt. As you exhale, press your thighs into your hands. Feel that activation through your deep core. And notice the decompression or lengthening in your lumbar spine. Inhale, ease up on the pressure. Are you still in your tilt? As you exhale, stay in the tilt, press your thighs into your hands, activate your core. Notice the length that comes in through the low back. Inhale, ease up. Exhale, press your thighs into your hands, activate your abdominals, decompress your low back. Good. Now, keep your right leg or left leg, bring it in towards your chest. If you found your roller move, just shift, take a moment and shift. We're going to take your right toe to the ceiling. Take your right arm, reach it long above your head. You're going to tuck your pelvis. You want to actively tuck. Think of this like a super tuck. And from that super tuck, you're going to slowly lower your right leg down. So it's effortlessly being suspended because of your super tuck. With your right arm overhead, you're going to lift your head and turn it to the left. And then you're going to reach out your right leg and reach your right arm, staying in your super tuck. Take a breath in. And exhale, reaching, reaching, reaching. Slowly unwind by bringing your head back to center, bring your arm and leg in. Extend your left leg to the ceiling. Come into your super tuck. Core is engaged. Slowly lower this leg down, and the leg will be suspended. You're not letting it drop. If you are, you're not in your super tuck. Stay in that tuck. This leg is suspended effortlessly. Take your left arm overhead. Turn your head to your right. And as you exhale, make sure your shoulder is down. You're reaching through your left arm and left leg as you hold that tuck. Take a breath in. And exhale. Bring it back to center. Bend your knee. Place your feet down to the ground. Lift your hips. Take the roller out from behind you and bring your pelvis down. Extend your legs out. Turn your palms to the ceiling. And let's check. Is there more of you on the mat? Are your shoulder blades down to the ground? If before you felt like there was a whole back curve, do you feel your ribs down? But instead, especially if we did that low back decompress right, we'll feel that the low back curve between your pelvis and your belly button is steeper, but your ribs are down. It's not as long. Ideally, you have two equal weight on two fluffy butt cheeks, and you feel the sense of length and openness through the front of your hips. Divide your body into a left and right, and notice if you feel balanced weight on the left and right sides of your body. And then just gently turn your head to the right and left, and notice if there's any restriction in your neck or if it's eased up. We're going to take a focused breath in. And exhale. You're going to roll onto your side and up to a seated position. Now, we're going to finish with your rebalance sequence here and a little upper body length, because I know for some of you, and in particular, when we finish with our pelvis on the roller, sometimes it leaves your low back a little tight, and I want to bring that down. So we're going to lay our roller lengthwise, and we're going to bring your hip to the bottom. You're going to lift your hip and sit up on the very bottom of the roller with your knees bent. You're going to lie back and bring your head down, and just check with your hand that your head is all the way on the roller. And hopefully those of you, that have the performance roller, you grabbed your long, hard roller. Bring your elbows, forearms, and hands on the mat and go into your gentle rocking. It doesn't matter if we've done a whole session finishing last with this, we still want to do our gentle rocking. It does two things. One, it helps your spine get used to lying on the roller. Two, if you are still feeling a little off center, this will help to bring you to center by activating your autopilot. We're going to come back to center here. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and we're going to take a slightly longer than normal inhale. Feel your chest and belly rise to the ceiling. Feel your back down to the mat and your ribs move laterally to the side. And then exhale. Inhale, three-dimensional. Your ribs expand like a barrel. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Notice your abdominals drop up and in. Place your hands on your rib cage. Point your fingers to the ceiling. Slide your arms up towards the ceiling, but angle them towards your thighs. And you're holding them shoulder width apart as if you're holding a little box between your hands. As you inhale, let your shoulder blades draw apart. As you exhale, let your shoulder blades fall heavy around the roller. As we move just your shoulder blades, notice if the movement feels smooth and easy. It might. We've done our whole upper back compression sequence. We've done our shoulder blade glide. We've done our rib cage glide. So it might feel pretty good. Keep your shoulder blades relaxed around the roller. Keep your elbows straight. We're going to do our arm scissor, moving slowly with your breath. And we want to pause when your top arm is still in your view. So the arms are staying above the height of your body. And your bottom arm is staying above the height of your pelvis. Good. Now we're moving just the shoulder joint. Bring your hands back to parallel, slightly above your ribs, and just do your shoulder blade elevation and depression with your breath. Good. Inhale and exhale. Place your hands down to the mat, about as wide as the mat, and reach your arms long. Open your throat. Tilt your nose to the left just to about 11 o'clock and reach your right arm longer. Keep your throat open. Tilt your body slightly to the left, creating a deeper lengthening through the right neck, shoulder, and arm. Pause, take a focused breath in. Exhale, slowly bring it back to center. Reach through the left side. Gently tilt your nose to 1 and 2 o'clock. Allow your body to slightly roll to the right side of the roller as you keep reaching your left arm long. Pause, take a focused breath in. Exhale, slowly bring your head and then your body back. Straighten your left leg. Roll off to the left of your roller. Lie down on your mat. And if before you felt like your ribs maybe were a little lifted off because of that last series we did, hasn't come down. Turn your head to the right and left and just see if there's any more ease in your neck. Notice if your collarbone feels wider and your shoulder blades down. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Bend your knees, roll onto your side, and bring yourself up to a seated position. And let's check in. I'm just going to stop the recording.